In an exciting twist, I have pictures in the background now. Eh? 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 Oh, sweet baby. You gotta go. Mama's trying to do something right now. Trying to film a video for the people. Say hi. Hi. That's real cute. That's real cute. Hey, howdy. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my May TBR. If you're asking yourself, Avery, why do you only shoot TBR and wrap-up videos? It's because I forget that I do YouTube and I get depressed and then I don't film at all month until the end of the month when I'm like, fuck, I got shit to do. I gotta fucking tell people what I'm reading and what I read. That's a backstory as to why there's never any other videos on my channel besides TBRs and wrap-ups. I'm gonna try so hard this month, though, to film some more content because this month is May Favorite Murder. May is the month of the year where I read books that are recommended on the podcast My Favorite Murder, or only true crime books exclusively for the whole month. And we are doing it again this year, so that's this TBR, and I'm so excited for it because I love true crime. I love My Favorite Murder, and I'm very excited to pick up these books. So let's get into it, shall we? The first book that I'm going to read in the month of May is a book that I talked about last month because I was going to read it last month and then realized that it was going to be perfect for this TBR, so I figured I might as well wait to read it, and that is Zodiac by Robert Graysmith. This book is a book about the Zodiac Killer. It goes into all the details of the crimes committed by the Zodiac Killer, potential suspects, true crime drama, all the usual good stuff. And it is one of my 10 books that I want to get to in 2021. So I will be reading that this month. I'm not going to go into too much detail about it because, as previously mentioned, I've already discussed it on this channel. The next book I'm going to read is another book that is one of my 10 books that I want to get to in 2021 because I still have not read any of them and I really need to get going on this. And that is Gone Girl by Gillian Flynn. This book is not recommended on the podcast My Favorite Murder. Like I said, it is one of my 10 books that I want to read in the year, and I do need to get to more of those. And it is a thriller, so it kind of is in the same vein as like true crime books. Gone Girl has not been spoiled for me yet, and quite honestly, I could not tell you what Gone Girl is about. I know it's a thriller. I know that I assume it has something to do with a girl being gone, but that is all I know, and I'm trying to keep it that way. So moving on. The next book I'm reading in the month of May is Killers of the Flower Moon by David Grann. This book is another true crime book about the Osage murders and the birth of the FBI, as it says right on the cover. This book, I just found out, is being made into a movie, which I'm very excited about. And actually one of my favorite musicians, Jason Isbell, is going to be starring in the movie, which is crazy. And I'm so excited about everything about that. And so I am very excited to read this. I want to make sure that I have it read so that when the movie comes out, I can absolutely watch it. And yeah, I'm very excited about it. It says on the back, in the 1920s, the richest people per capita in the world were members of the Osage Nation in Oklahoma. After oil was discovered beneath their land, they rode in chauffeured cars and lived in mansions. Then one by one, the Osage began to be killed. Molly Burkhart watched as her family became a prime target. Her relatives were shot and poisoned. Other Osage were also dying under mysterious circumstances, and many of those who investigated the crimes were themselves murdered. As the death toll rose, the case was taken upon by the newly created FBI and its young, secretive director, J. Edgar Hoover. Struggling to crack the mystery, Hoover turned to a former Texas Ranger named Tom White, who put together an undercover team, including a Native American agent. They infiltrated the last remnant of the Wild West, and together with the Osage began to expose one of the most chilling conspiracies in American history. So, like, sounds like one of the craziest stories in the world, and it's also totally true, which I absolutely love. So I'm very excited to get to this one this month. The next book I'm reading is one of the few books on this TBR that is not a true crime book, and that is The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. Shout out to my little bookmark here that was created by Books with Leo from YouTube. If you have seen her, I'll link her channel in the description. She sells these beautiful bookmarks, and I ordered some a while back, and I'm so excited that they're finally here. But The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury is one of the podcast hosts, Georgia Hardstark's favorite books. She writes about it in their book, Stay Sexy, Don't Get Murdered. And so I am very excited to pick this one up. I've had this one on my shelf for a while as well. I meant to read it last year and just didn't get to it, so I'm gonna get to it this time. The Martian Chronicles is quite obviously about Martians, as is stated in the title, The Martian Chronicles. I love Ray Bradbury. I think he's a great author. Dandelion Wine is one of my favorite books of all time, so I'm really excited to get to this one and read it. The next book is the last physical book that I am reading in the month of May, and that is The Cases That Haunt Us by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker. I read Mindhunter by John Douglas and Mark Olshaker last May for May Favorite Murder. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really well written, and I really liked how instead of just being about one case, it was about so many different cases in one book. And this book is kind of the same. It goes into a bunch of the most known cases that are in our world. Like, for example, it's got a picture of John Benet Ramsey on the cover, the Black Dahlia, all those classics. And it's just sort of the perspective of John Douglas from him working in the FBI, sort of what he thinks when he looks at these cases, which I'm really excited to read about. So I am excited to read this one as well. The next book on my TBR is my audiobook, and that is Last Call by Elon Green. This is a new release. It just came out a couple months ago. Maybe this month, actually. Maybe it came out in April. But it is a true crime book about the Last Call killer, who was a serial killer in New York who murdered gay men in the 90s, I want to say it was. You might have to fact check me on that. I'm not entirely sure if that was the date. But it is a true crime book. Obviously, these are almost all true crime books, and I am very excited to pick it up. I haven't read a new release true crime book in quite a while, so I'm excited to read this one. And then the other book that I'm reading is my ebook for the month, which is The Sundown Motel by, oh crap, what's her name? Simone St. James? Is that what it is? That could be totally wrong. I could be just making that up completely. I don't remember who it's by, sorry, but I am very excited to read this book. It is a thriller. It is about a motel, and that is kind of all I really know about it. I'm trying to go into it kind of blindly because it is a thriller, but I'm excited to read it. And it also has, like, in the acknowledgements, it thanks Karen and Georgia and the Murderinos for, you know, inspiring her to write the book, which I think is super cool and super fun. And so I'm reading that one. And that concludes the books that are for May Favorite Murder, the official TBR of true crime and thrillers and books recommended on the podcast's My Favorite Murder. But there is a few other books that I'm wanting to get to this month that are unconnected. For example, my book of the month, I will be reading this month as I read it every month this year. That's a goal that I'm trying to stick to and achieve, and the one that I picked this month is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I hope I'm saying that right. It's probably Ariadne. Anyway, it's a retelling of a Greek myth, which I'm really excited about. I found that in the past months, or in the months so far this year, I've been only picking thrillers from Book of the Month. And last month, as you'll see in my wrap-up shortly when I post that, I have not been super enjoying them. So I was trying to get out of my comfort zone a little, get out of that genre, pick something that was different. So I picked this myth retelling, and I'm pretty excited about it. And the cover is super beautiful too. And then I also want to get to Tunnel of Bones by V.E. Schwab this month. I read City of Ghosts last month and absolutely loved it. I'll be talking about that in my wrap-up as well. And so I want to read the second one so I can read that new one that just came out that I discussed in my last video. And then the last book that I'm reading is, of course, still Dune. I'm not done with it yet. I'm not even close to done with it yet, but I have started it, and I'm a portion of the way through. I've at least read something of it, but it's still going strong. Still going on the Dune journey. That book. Anyway, and so on that note, I will end this TBR. I hope you enjoyed this video. Stay tuned. Later this week, I will be posting my April wrap-up, which I am so excited. I read so many books in the month of April, guys. I'm finally getting back on track, back into the swing of things when it comes to reading. And so I am so excited to share all those books with you guys, so check back, like this video, and subscribe to the channel if you want, if you feel so inclined. And if you're interested in any of my social medias, all the links will be down in the description box below. Thanks, guys. Bye.